Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk about Arc Raiders because Arc Raiders had its server slam test last weekend, which was effectively both a beta preview that served as a marketing tool and also a nice way to stress test the actual servers before launch. There was a lot more hype and a lot more people playing than I expected, and I already had my expectations set quite high for Arc Raiders. Player numbers were really high, Steam chart numbers were really high, community feedback was really good, Twitch numbers were really good. The game seems like it's already a massive hit. So today I want to talk a little bit about the server slam test, how the game played in its near final state, what the publicly available data says it's about its popularity, and some observations from community feedback. Before we do that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to my sponsor Logitech G and their brand new A20X headset, which is by far the best console headset on the market. It works on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and mobile all at the same time, all mixing in one headset, and it's what I use every single day at home. Code Drifter will save you 5% off, and it's linked down there below in the description. So moving along, in case you've been living under a rock, Arc Raiders is a third-person extraction shooter from Embark Studios, who is currently best known for making The Finals. It's set in a late 70s, early 80s retro apocalypse where machines called Arc have taken over the surface of the planet and have forced humans to retreat underground. Raiders venture to the surface to gather essential supplies to keep the underground societies functioning, and as a player, you play a raider. You'll have to take an elevator to the surface, loot around for anything valuable, try not to get killed by the Arc robots, or maybe kill them back if you need parts from them, and also try to survive encounters with hostile enemy raiders. The only way out of the surface world is to extract downward via elevator, which pretty much perfectly sets up the plot for a good extraction shooter. I've already done a couple of videos glazing the quality of this game, which I will link down there below in the description, but the overall combat loop and design of Arc Raiders is nothing shy of fantastic. I think it might be the only extraction shooter that doesn't bore me to death. And to beat a dead horse here, Arc Raiders is what Marathon wishes it could be. It's just better than Marathon in every conceivable way, except I do shamefully admit to liking Marathon's art style better, or at least I like the style they're trying to achieve in the cinematics, but not what's actually in the game. Arc Raiders is a very close second with its own retrofuturism style, but it's far more polished and there's not nearly the same disconnect between the trailers and the actual gameplay, so it's probably objectively better. The gameplay is in about the same state as the previous beta, so still very solid. One thing I did notice is that a lot of people are making use of the Dark Souls rolls and advanced terrain maneuvering during this beta, whereas they didn't in the previous one. I suspect it has a lot more to do with the fact that there's a lot of people that played the previous beta, so they're loading into this one with more experience and wanting to play sweaty. Graphical fidelity and performance on my PC have both improved since the previous beta. I admit to having a beefy PC, but I was very happy with the default graphics settings for this game. They were just perfect for me, and I didn't have to do anything, which was a blessing. So yeah, I had a really fun time playing. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play a lot because I'm very sick right now, but I did manage to get just enough gameplay to make this video. So let's talk about the player count for Arc Raiders. Yesterday's server test, at least as of recording this video, you'll hear it a few days from now, peaked at 187,000 players on the afternoon after the server slam test went live. This is an absolutely enormous number of players that puts Arc Raiders solidly in the top 10 Steam games, and right now it sits comfortably between Apex Legends and Rust for total players. I'd say that's an extremely impressive achievement for just the server test and not even launch day. For comparison, as of recording this video, Battlefield has about 420,000 concurrent players, and it peaked at about 650,000 players according to Steam charts. So the Arc Raiders server slam got about a third of the amount of players that Battlefield did, and yes, Battlefield won. Yes, Battlefield is the bigger game, but the fact that Embark Studios was able to take this big of a chunk of players away from Battlefield is extremely impressive to me. Battlefield 6 got all that EA money, and their marketing budget was probably more than the entire development budget for Arc Raiders, on top of already having a decades-old established community to market to and through. Arc Raiders has managed to claim a third of their prize with a fraction of the resources and while launching a brand new IP that did not have a built-in community, which I think means that this performance was extremely impressive. It's also important to keep in mind that these are just Steam chart numbers and do not reflect the amount of people playing on consoles. It's very safe to say that you can double these numbers or maybe even triple them if the game is popular on consoles. That was kind of the case for the finals, which typically has 20,000 or less players on Steam, but probably has 60 to 100,000 players on any given day because it's disproportionately popular on console. For Arc Raiders, I can say that the game plays well on controller and seems to be designed for controller just as much as it is for keyboard and mouse, so I would be really hard-pressed to say there's a reason that console players wouldn't enjoy it. So based on those assumptions, I would then assume that the actual concurrent player count for Arc Raiders Server Slam test is probably just under 400,000 players if you include console. Once again, extremely impressive start from a new IP that's not even released from a major North American publisher. These are the kind of numbers for which game developers only need to retain a small fraction of in order to build a self-sustaining community. I don't expect Arc Raiders to have 200,000 plus players every single day in 3 years. That would be nice. I hope they get that kind of success. I think that's an unrealistic goal. But if Arc Raiders still has as little as 50,000 players sitting there on Steam charts at least every day for 3 years, then it's a certified banger and an absolute financial success. They only need to retain a small number of these people to just make bank. The other thing to talk about is the Twitch numbers. Arc Raiders is also performing very well on Twitch and in the content creation space in general. According to Twitch Tracker, Arc Raiders peaked at just under 220,000 players, and as of recording this video, it was maintaining around 150,000 players at any given time. From my casual observations, when I tune into Twitch and go to the front page and click browse or whatever, it's typically sitting in third or fourth place. And I know that Twitch numbers are not necessarily reflective of in-game numbers, they're not always related to overall popularity, and I'm aware that Twitch is experiencing a massive decline in viewership due to mismanagement and the crackdown on viewbots, but Twitch still serves as a nice general barometer for popularity. It certainly doesn't hurt to be front page on Twitch. To compare to Battlefield 6, Battlefield 6 peaked at just under 900,000 viewers and is currently averaging about 90,000 viewers per day at any given moment. So once again, it didn't quite break through the Battlefield numbers, but it was a surprisingly strong competitor. Not like it's doing bad on YouTube either. I'm seeing all sorts of Arc Raiders videos pop off from gameplay to guides, and of course some people are already doing deep dives into the lore. The social media aspect of this game appears to be on the right path. And then finally, let's take a moment to talk about community sentiment. Community sentiment also appears to be at a near all-time high. Almost all of the big FPS creators and a wide variety of non-FPS or non-shooter creators, just big creators in general, are playing Arc Raiders, and they do seem to be enjoying the game. Even people like me that don't traditionally make extraction shooter content are indeed playing Arc Raiders. I saw Shroud describe it as his favorite game. That's always a good start. And even a lot of people from the Battlefield community that this time of year would normally be hard focused on Battlefield and shamelessly farming those Battlefield views and ad rates seem really smitten with Arc Raiders. They seem to be actually willing to abandon Battlefield 6 at its absolute peak of popularity to get some Arc Raiders games and content because they enjoy it. So I think that's wonderful. The subreddit for the game seems incredibly positive, which is rare to say about any subreddit. My social media feeds on X and Blue Sky are also very positive. And a quick shout out to my Blue Sky. That's where I'm posting the majority of my personal updates and science content. Also, Blue Sky is weirdly more lax about firearms content than X, so all of these like IRL gun videos and stuff are ending up on Blue Sky instead of X. So my final opinion on Arc Raiders is that it's shaping up to be a significant hit, and that I wish I could play it more. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm a lot more sick right now than I would prefer to be. Specifically, I'm losing function in my left hand for reasons that aren't medically clear yet. Even more specifically, my left index finger, which I need to hit the majority of the important buttons for any FPS game, is getting very weak and I can't even fully close it. My thumb is starting to do the same thing, and perhaps this is a paranoid health anxiety, but I'm starting to fear that that sensation is spreading over to my middle finger as well. I'm getting the very beginnings of it. So unfortunately, instead of being able to dive in and play a ton of Arc Raiders this weekend, I was able to play just enough to get this video out and done. One of my few complaints about the game is that it does require a lot more clicking and holding and movement and running than usual for an extraction shooter, so it's harder on my hands than I wish that it was, but I think that's a complaint unique to me and my useless fingers over here on my left hand. I'm hoping to be able to turn this peripheral neuropathy problem around and get some proper games in when it launches at the end of the month, but that's going to be a little bit of a tall order. In the meantime, I'm just doing like one raid a day, just one day, one life, just get a little bit of experience in, have a little bit of fun, make a little bit of content, and I don't know, it's kind of a weirdly zen game. For whatever reason, I really do enjoy just walking around the destroyed landscape. It feels good in a bad way. No, it feels bad in a good way. It's like the apocalyptic beauty. Really nails that. Guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.